So UK Paranormal Searcher here at tonight's location. I am tonight investigating the Old Nick Theatre here in Gainsborough in Lincolnshire. This is a fantastic place. I've just had a walk around with one of the hosts here. Loads of stuff to actually investigate. It's a lot bigger than what I thought. Now this place was an old court, it was an old jail and also an old magistrates court. And the upper level where the magistrate court was is now a theatre, so we'll take you into that part later on. There is 25 deaths that have been definitely documented in this place between 1860 and 1935, and also there's definitely two documentations of two suicides that definitely went on within this building when it was a police station. So the part of the building I'm in now is the old cells. This is a truly harrowing place to investigate. People say that have investigated this place before. Experienced paranormal investigators have actually fled this building in terror, so some people say. Shadow figures have been seen. Poltergeist activity is rife in this area. Also, these doors have been heard slamming in the middle of the night. It was in this particular cell that somebody came in one day, one of the police officers, and actually found somebody who actually died in this cell. So this would be definitely a place that we will be investigating later on when we actually go into night vision. So this cell that I'm talking to you from now is one of the old female cells. Now there was an incident that happened in this particular cell, and that was a female prisoner who attacked a police officer, and what she tried to do to the police officer, she attacked him with a chop bone and tried to cut the vein in his neck. So this is another place that we will be investigating later on when we go into night vision. The Old Nick for over 100 years was the divisional headquarters of the Lincolnshire Constabulary. The part we're in now, it looks like a theatre, but this wasn't the theatre, this was the old magistrates court. This is where the courts were held, and when the lights go out later on in here tonight, it's going to be very, very dark. There's no outside windows at all to actually interfere with the investigation. The room where I'm in now, dark, menacing shadows have actually been seen in this area. Also, there's been doors that have actually shut and locked on people. Now this is the dressing room, but this was originally is where the magistrates came and the judge came to actually get changed before they actually went through that door and into the magistrates court. So when this was a police station, the superintendent of the police station actually lived in the building also. And this room where I'm talking to you from now, this would have been his old dining room. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's investigation. There's lots to investigate, there's lots of stories, lots of history to this place. So let's hope we get something. So come and follow me as we investigate the Old Nick Theatre in night vision. So we're here at the Old Nick Theatre. It's about 8:30 now. There is a little bit of light still outside, and also there's a little bit of noise coming from outside as well, with children playing, that sort of thing. So hopefully in a couple of hours, hopefully that will debate and it will go a little bit quieter. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you around in night vision now, because it's dark enough to do that, and just give you a brief tour of the building in night vision, and we'll see if anything happens. Walking through the main entrance, the first place you see is this little switchboard area. This was the telephone exchange. Originally the telephone exchange could only be accessed through the inquiry office. As divisional headquarters for the Lincolnshire Constabulary, calls from all over the country were channelled through this exchange. That's what this little area was for. So the little policewoman there's the old switchboard operating kind of thing. I presume it was one of those ones where you plugged little wires into other little things to actually get an exchange and make a call. So that's that area, and then you come into this quite decent corridor here, a long corridor. So it's a very atmospheric place. I can imagine a lot of people getting spooked in this building. You know, I've had a walk around in daylight. It's absolutely fantastic. This part here was the inquiry and reception office. This is where all the general inquiries were handled from members of the public. So that's what this room would have been. You go down the corridor here, and we'll go left, I think, for now. So it's like another long corridor. Fascinating building, this. It's really interesting. And as I said on the intro, the superintendent actually lived here. I'm going to take you now into the superintendent's sitting room. This was his sitting room, and I think it was from 1860 when the police station was built. It was incorporated as a house for the superintendent and his family, and this was his sitting room. It had a separate entrance from Cross Street, a dining room, a kitchen and 3 bedrooms that was accessed by another staircase from the hallway. So this was his sitting room. It's amazing. It's still got the atmosphere of what it would have been like in its day when it was a police station. As I say, just again, one of them places that you just love to go back in time and see exactly what went on in this building. You know, there's loads of things that are documented here, things that have happened, but you know, there'll be a lot of things that we don't know about either. So this was the superintendent's office. This would have been his own personal office. It's got full of artifacts in here. The old typewriter, that's where he would have sat, that would have been his desk. A little cigarette there on the ashtray, and a cup of tea, and an old typewriter. So this would have been his office. So we've got that door. That was the corridor we just came down. Go into this area here. And this would have been the CID office. Initially this was the dining room in the superintendent's house. There was no fireplace in this room as it was heated from the next small room. Originally the kitchen was housed here, a large cooking range on the right and a sink was under the window. And the superintendent's wife had to cook meals for the prisoners, and when the superintendent moved house, a lady in Spring Gardens prepared the meals, and when she retired, meals were brought from the Horse and Groom public house at the bottom of Spring Gardens. So again, this is absolutely amazing. There's a story of something to do with a pork chop, I'll show you later, where the prisoners were having pork chops for the meals or something, and one got a bone and actually attacked an officer with one of the bones and went through his jugular vein. I don't think the officer died, but just another story of this prison. So, very amazing place. And this goes out here to this bit here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you into the backyard. At the back, across the yard, is the stable, complete with hayloft, and the superintendent was allocated a country chap, but had to provide his own horse. The garage and workshops to the right, probably built in the 1930s, housed police vehicles between the two in the corner. There was also some kennels, so that's the area outside. Unfortunately, we can't get into any of that area tonight, but that's where I parked my car for tonight. So, as I say, we can't get in there unfortunately, but we've got enough to go on inside, so I just thought I'd show you that a little bit outside as well. So what we'll do, we'll make our way back now into the building. Just gone past the dining room where the superintendent was. Go past the office, we'll walk past that now. I think we've been in this room. Yeah, that was his sitting room. Been in there, and this was the charge room. This is where the charge room was, opposite the sergeant's office. This is where the criminals were brought, and they had to give their name and address, and the charges were then made, and then they were bailed to appear at court, or for more serious offences they were charged and led through the barred gate to the cells. So this is where the cells were. So if you did something really bad, this is where you would have gone. And this area here was the Victorian exercise yard. It was used by all prisoners until 1932, when the female wing was added together with the female cell and exercise yard. There was an escape in 1985, so a wire mesh would have been up there, because after the escape they did put wire mesh on top, but it is now missing. But that's where somebody actually escaped, and they put the wire mesh on to stop it happening again. There is quite a draft. It doesn't quite shut, that door, so there is quite a draft coming through that door. So we're going down now to, this would have been the male and female cells at the time, before the female area cells were actually built separately. So there's one of the cells there. Again, you can see, well, you can see on camera or not, but
There's all the graffiti that has been left on the doors. Apparently they used to hold 11 people in these cells at one time or another. There could have been 11 people in there. And then we go into here. This is another cell here. Quite basic. There's a toilet there, but I don't think that she was saying that the toilets weren't added till quite later on, so you one time you just had a bucket to do whatever you needed to do in. So you can imagine the stench in here and the smell and everything else. But again, that's one of the other cells. Again, you can see all the graffiti on the doors. That comes to a dead end. So what I'll do now, I'll take you into the female cells. These were added in 1932. As I say, these cells here would have housed both female and male prisoners until 1932, when they actually built the other cell block. This would have been the day room. This was the police constables reported here to be given their duties for the day and informed of any relevant information that they needed to know. A large table similar to the one here would be sat in the centre of the room with personal lockers against the wall, and a map of Gainsborough Division hung on the wall above the fireplace, and a clock, which is original, was on the wall to the left of the window. So that must have been the original clock when it was a police station. And that's like all the maps and stuff where they would have got, the police officers would have got their orders for the day, etc. So again, fascinating history of this place. So we're going now into the female cells. Now, it wasn't until 1932 that male and female and juvenile prisoners were held in the two cells where we've just been, and this new part was opened in 1932 and provided a separate cell and exercise yard for the females. This little room here would have been the inspector's office and interview room, as its name suggests. This is where the criminals would have been interrogated. With the exception of the superintendent's dining room and kitchen, which was heated by the large cooking range, all the rooms in this police station have fireplaces, despite the fact that when this wing was built in the 1930s, it included a basement for a coal-fire central heated boiler, and there's one of the old fireplaces there. So like I say, it looks like a typical interrogation room. There's the table where the criminal and the officers would have sat one side of the room to the other. I say, absolutely fantastic building. If you haven't been to this place, it's definitely worth a visit. And this was the female exercise yard. It was smaller than the Victorian male exercise yard, and this also would have had a wire mesh that went on the roof. It's got some stocks there, but it's not original to what would have happened here. But there is a bit of a roof on here now, but I'm not sure it's the original roof, but that would have been a wire mesh to stop any escapes after what happened in the male cells. So that's just a little exercise yard. That would have been here for the females. And again, a couple of cells here. So by 1932 things would have improved a little bit, and as you can see, they do look a little bit more modern to when the cells were mixed. And this room was the women's police officer's office. The 1930s tiled fireplace is most striking, and there's another one similar upstairs and in what the court's office was, and it was now part of the coffee lodge, so we'll go up there later and I will show you that as well. So that's what this little room was as well. This is where I imagine you would have got searched and interrogated to any crimes that you had been committed. the cell up in that one. That's the exercise yard. Let's see, the corridors are very long. It's going very dark now, it's getting on for 9 o'clock, so we'll actually go and investigate this building very, very shortly. And let's see if we can get any activity. This area here, that door there, would have been where the magistrates came. And the judges, that was their entrance to the building. And then they would have gone upstairs to... So now in the sergeant's office. So if there's any spirits that are with us of this old Nick Theatre, if there's any spirits that wish to come and communicate with me tonight in any way you want to, that would be fantastic. Whether you worked here or was a prisoner here or anything else, I'm asking you at some point tonight to come forward and give us a sign that you still exist within these buildings, within these walls of this prison. My name is Phil, so you're welcome to do anything you want tonight. I'm just interested in you, interested in why you still maybe haunt this building, and whether all these stories of things that have happened here to other paranormal investigators, if you could do something like that with me tonight, that would be fantastic. If you can maybe close and slam on the doors too, or show yourself in shadow or light, anything you want to do, then come forward and do it. Is anybody here? Any spirit person with us in this theatre now? Can you come forward? Can you give us a sign that you're here? Can you make a sound for us? Can we hear your voice? Hello? So this was the sergeant's office, which is just right next door to where the inquiry desk was. And apparently in this room, it's not here now, but they used to have the birch rod that was actually hung up on the wall. Don't know where it would have been, but apparently that was in situ in this room. There's a couple of fire exit signs, but it's not really interfering with the investigation. There's one there showing a little bit of green light off, but if I actually look down there now and switch that off, you can see it's a lot darker where the cells are. It's pitch black down there now. You can't actually see down the cells or down the corridor. You couldn't actually see with your naked eye anyway. There's a little bit of a light down that one, which you can see. So this is the main entrance part we'll come to. Inquiry desk. This is the part you would have actually come to now. Through the door to the left was the main entrance, and this is the inquiry desk. This is where everybody would have come and reported whatever they needed to report. There's a little bit of a bell here, so I'm going to ring this bell. Okay, can you come to this desk for me? Can you, if I knock, can you knock back? Or maybe even ring that bell, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I'm here now, I'm at the desk to report a crime. I need to speak to an officer to report a crime. Can you come forward? Can you come and assist me with my inquiry? My name is Phil. Like a television or something, it must be coming from outside. Not paranormal, but must be coming from outside somewhere. Come on, calling out to the spirits of the Old Nick Theatre. I'm walking down now towards the cell area. Now in the superintendent's sitting room. If you were here, can you come forward? Can you give me a sign that you were here? Can you make a sound? Any sound at all? You maybe move one of the cups. There's a certain place that where you sat in this room, there's a certain place. Could you maybe give us a sign where you used to sit? Can you knock on something? Can we hear your voice? Can you make a sound? Any sound at all? Can you walk past me, behind me where I'm filming, through this mirror? Can you show yourself in shadow form, maybe move across the door? Walking now into the superintendent's office, which is adjoining to the sitting room. He's a big fellow, quite tall, quite a foreboding figure, that man. This was his desk, an tray, and he was sit in his chair, I think. That's what I'll do. Okay, I'm sat in your chair. If you don't want me here, can you come and touch me? Can you come and push me off the chair? I'm sat in your chair. This was your office. You don't want me here. Give me a sign that you don't want me here. Do something in this room. Come and push me. Touch me. Calling out to the superintendent of the Old Nick Theatre. Are you still here? Maybe press one of these keys on the typewriter, that'd be good. Can you do that? If I knock, can you knock back? Can you knock back for me?
What I was going to do, I was going to leave the dictaphone in one of the cells, but I came to the conclusion that it wasn't really worth it, because the only reason being there's a lot of children outside still playing. I thought if it's something you're going to look back on, if you did hear a scream, you wouldn't know if it was from outside or inside the prison. So I'm going to do a few little EVPs where I'm actually just sat here and let's see if we can get anything on this. As I say, all these things always seem to happen on the television. Fortunately, it doesn't happen to me, but let's give it a go. Okay, I'm calling out to the spirits of the Old Nick Theatre. If you can come and talk through this device in my hand, you want to come forward and give me a message that you are still here, or tell me your name. So there's a little orange light on this thing in my hand. If you want to come close to it and talk to me, if there's anything you want to say, now's your chance to say it.
My name is Phil. I'm asking the spirits of the Old Nick Theatre to come forward tonight and come and communicate with me. Come and talk through this device, maybe give me a message or give me your name. So we'll just play that back and see if anything happens.
Okay, I'm calling out to the spirits of the Old Nick Theatre. If you can come and talk through this device in my hand, you want to come forward and give me a message that you are still here, or tell me your name. So the little orange light on this thing in my hand, if you want to come close to it and talk to me, is there anything you want to say? Now's your chance to say it. My name is Phil. I'm asking the spirits of the Old Nick Theatre to come forward tonight and come and communicate with me. Come and talk through this device, maybe give me a message or give me your name. So we'll just play that back and see if anything happens.
Unfortunately, again, there's nothing called on the dictaphone. We will try that later in some of the cells, but just walking around the old sitting room and actually sat here in the superintendent's chair, it's fascinating. It feels like you've really gone back in time, because it feels like nothing's changed. And even if nothing happens tonight, so I've only got till 12 o'clock tonight, so I haven't got a great lot of time, but even if nothing happens tonight, it's definitely a place that I would love to come back to, and maybe love to come back to with a few more people and actually stay overnight in this building. Have a good 8 or 9 hours here, which maybe I will look at doing that sometime in the future, because I think I do think this building would have potential. As I say, nothing happens tonight, nothing happens. Doesn't mean to say it's not haunted, but up to now, we're about quarter of an hour, 20 minutes into the investigation. Nothing's happened, but the night's only young, and as I said, there's a little bit of light still outside. It's not completely dark. It is in the building, but it's not completely dark outside. So we'll carry on, and we'll go into some of the cells and see if we can get some activity in there.